This presentation is on the business value of information technology. First and foremost, information technology is defined as the study, design, development, implementation, support, or management of computer-based information systems. Information technology has been touted as an excellent business investment. It has been claimed by many that information technology decreases cost, increases productivity, reduces data loss, and increases revenue for those who use it. While it does seem as though IT has a great potential for being a very beneficial endeavor, numerous IT projects have failed. In fact, according to USA Today in 2002, American firms wasted $130 billion on unwanted IT expenditures. Well-known firms have lost millions. For example, Hershey Foods lost $120 million due to the incompatible software involved in their IT project. In addition, Nike's $400 million IT system in the end decreased its profits overall when inventory problems resulted after its implementation. With such high investment costs up front and such risks involved as these corporations and many others have faced, the question remains whether there truly is business value in IT projects. Problems are so widespread, meaning we cannot speculate that they arose due to merely poor management. Because the business potential of IT is often not evaluated accurately, in this presentation, a new method, grounded in objective data, will be used in evaluation instead of relying on speculation. We will do this by using a case study that involves the VISTA system. VISTA stands for the Veterans Health Information Systems and Technology Architecture. It is an enterprise-wide information system built around an electronic health record. It is used throughout the United States Department of Veterans Affairs medical system known as the Veterans Health Administration. By the year 2001, the Veterans Health Administration, or VHA, was the largest single medical system in the United States. As it uses electronic health records, VISTA is therefore one of the most widely used electronic health record systems in the world. The VISTA system uses a computerized patient record system with notifications, reminders, and important alerts in place for physicians. The system has been widely acclaimed for reforming the VHA's healthcare system. As a result, there has been a nationwide impetus to adopt a similar electronic health record system. The data we'll be using to evaluate the business value of the system comes from the Department of Veterans Affairs as provided under the Freedom of Information Act. The data spans fiscal years from 1998 to 2004, as shown in Column 1. Column 2 shows the amount of money in dollars budgeted to information technology according to the Budget of Office Information. The third column is the number of records in the VISTA system. These numbers will be referred to as IT use throughout this presentation. The last column is the cost per patient index, which will indicate productivity and revenue. Now, correlations between the variables will be calculated and represented in the following scatter diagrams. This will help to determine if there is a causal relationship between investment in IT and revenue. The stronger the relationship, the more significant the comparison between the variables will be. This first scatter diagram shows the correlation between IT budget, or investment in IT, and the use of IT. A correlation, represented here by R, of 0.766 is found. The purpose of a correlation is to determine whether values of one variable are related to another. Correlation ranges from -1 to +1, -1 being the weakest correlation, 0 meaning no relationship, and +1 being the strongest correlation. Therefore, with a value of 0.766, this shows a strong positive correlation, as it is fairly close to +1. That means that there is a strong relationship between IT investment and IT use. This second diagram shows the correlation between cost per patient and IT budget. With a value of 0.892 for correlation, there is a very strong relationship between these two variables. This third and final scatter plot shows the relationship between cost per patient and the use of IT, which is done in terms of numbers of records in VISTA. The correlation of 0.567, there is just a moderate association between these two variables. Even though we have determined the correlation between variables, this merely shows us associations, not causation. Therefore, causation must now be calculated. In order for there to be a causative effect in this case, the investment in IT must come before any increase in productivity and revenue. Two different courses of events could be taking place in the situation. The first being that investment in IT led to IT use, which led to revenue. This means that cost per patient is not affected and is independent of the IT budget. On the other hand, it could be that an unrelated heightened productivity led to more revenue that was then made available for IT investment, and hence IT use. Therefore, the use of VISTA would not be affected and would be independent of the cost per patient index given the budget situation. In doing calculations, the first situation is shown with this. The correlation between cost per patient and IT budget, which is 0.892, minus the correlation between the IT budget and the IT use, which is 0.766, multiplied by the correlation between cost per patient and use, 0.567, should be 0. When we evaluate the second situation, the correlation between cost and use, 0.567, minus the correlation between cost and 0.896, multiplied by the correlation between IT budget and IT use, which is 0.766, should also equal 0. As you can see from these calculations, the first situation equals 0.46 and the second is negative 0.12. Because the second scenario is closer to 0, that means that an increase in revenue led to investment in IT, which then led to IT use. In conclusion, we find that growth led to IT, not the other way around. Our results support that decreased cost per patient led to funds for the IT budget and in turn an increased use of VISTA. The results do not support the idea that investment in IT led to greater productivity and revenue for the Veterans Health Administration. However, there are some limitations in this evaluation. First and foremost, there need to be 3 periods minimum in order to find correlations, and this may not give the best representation. Also, data tracking is extremely important when using such objective data as we are doing in this evaluation, and that may be difficult to acquire. However, there are many benefits that come along with this method as well. The first being, in using the entire revenue, we don't have to account for specific benefits or for certain side effects. Also, the correlations can tell where attention should really be focused. And then finally, even though some limitations do exist in this method for determining business value, it is a good model for organizations to determine the value of information technology. For example, if IT investment did really lead to a higher productivity for a firm, a return on investment could then be calculated.